Let's blow this pop stand.
Well, good night, Tony. Good night, Angela. I'll see you tomorrow.
Can you believe my mother? Poor Wally. Poor vulnerable Wally. Shattered by a divorce, on the rebound from me. He falls right into her clutches.
That's one way of looking at it.
Is that Grandma leaving with Wally?
Yes, sport.
You're right, Sam. Wally dumped Mom for Grandma.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to
Hey, yo. Oh, wait.
the Who's the Boss podcast.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. I'm Tori.
I'm Kevin.
We got a voicemail.
Hi, Kevin and Tori. Just wanted to thank you for the great podcast you do on Who's the Boss. It was my favorite show as a child, and I really, really, really enjoy to listen to you and live those times again. It was my favorite show alongside Gilmore Girls and The X-Files, so I hope you will cover those as well after you finished Who's the Boss. I'm sending you a lot of wishes and good health from beautiful Switzerland. Stay healthy and keep up the good work. Bye-bye.
Holy crap, we got a voice message from Switzerland.
Wow. We're huge in Switzerland.
Yes, that was Fran from Switzerland. Thank you so much for being our one listener in Switzerland. We really appreciate it. And it's so great to hear that this is bringing back good memories for you, because if anyone can have a little bit of joy listening to this podcast and forgetting about the global shitstorm that we're in, that's really the whole reason why we're here. So It's great to hear.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Sometimes I sit here and we're doing the show and I'm talking away and I feel like nobody's listening. Right. And then once in a while we get a voicemail and it's like, wow, that's cool. Just to hear that one person's listening. I mean, I know more than one.
So
but it's just nice.
My goal was to get to 50, right? And I think now we have 55 listeners that listen to every episode.
Wow. That's pretty good. I like that.
We have a little Who's the Boss tribe going.
Okay, good. I'll take it.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, so tonight we're going to cover Season 2, Episode 5. Was I supposed to say anything else? No, we said our names.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Did all the things.
Okay. This episode is called Tony the Matchmaker. It first aired October 22nd of 1985. The TV Guide summary says, Angela decides that one date with Tony's nerdish friend is one too many, until Mona starts dating him.
What an interesting and weird description.
This episode was written by Paul Robinson Hunter. And he did write a few other episodes of Who's the Boss. I went and looked. And I'm going to say this is my least favorite of Paul Robinson Hunter's. But
okay. I mean, you know what else he wrote?
Jonathan Plays Cupid is one, which I don't think we've watched yet.
No.
Hang on. You put me on the spot here. Hang on.
I'm sorry.
Scrolling IMDb.
I just am saying that
Jonathan Plays Cupid is a great episode. I love that. Okay. Oh, he wrote Requiem. It says teleplay by, and I'm thinking that's because the story was probably a lot of Tony Danza's input.
Yeah.
So Requiem, Samantha's Growing Up.
Okay.
Tony the Matchmaker, Jonathan Plays Cupid. So 3 solid episodes, 1.
Oh, okay. I mean, it is what it is.
Okay, so
I do. Full disclosure, I do feel like this episode was like a filler episode.
Yeah.
Like it could have could stand not to be made.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have saved that
this
for the
is probably
rating.
my least favorite that we've watched so far.
Okay. Yeah.
Because even a lot of them, when I don't think I'm going to like them, because I don't remember liking them as a kid, when we go back and watch, I'm like, oh, wow, this is actually a good story. But, yeah. So, okay. Now, with that said, this episode does open with Tony in a steam room. Gratuitous
They're like, we gotta
Shout out
sell this
Tony.
episode somehow.
Yeah.
So we'll have Tony without
We've
a
got
shirt.
the Cinemax After Dark.
Steam
Where is
going.
this going? Oh wait, no, that's just some guy named Wally next to him. Okay,
Right.
So yeah,
maybe we thought we were gonna find out something else about Tony. We didn't know.
a sweaty, wet Tony is in the steam room,
Oh, that's bizarre.
and so like, is this the why, or did
don't
he
know.
get a fancy membership?
Probably the
Like
why.
I can't really. They never say what Wally does for a living, but I don't feel like he's like a fancy businessman or anything. So maybe this is the why, where he was playing basketball with Jeff and is now in the steam room with Wally. So we meet this new friend that we've never seen before, Wally. He's newly divorced. He's been divorced 6 months. He's kind of pathetic. Tony asked him what he thought of the girl at the juice bar, and Wally didn't even really notice her because he's still all hung up on his ex-wife. Now Wally is played by Paul Sands, and so we had this discussion earlier. I wrote down the wrong name, but I know the right name now. So I think this guy looks like a combination of Dustin Hoffman and Gene Wilder.
Yeah, I mean, I gave you the name earlier because I just saw nothing but Gene. He looks just like Gene Wilder, a little bit like dark hair, to me.
And I feel like this was kind of a look to have back then. But he also gives me a little bit of poor man Steve Carell vibes.
Yeah,
also.
I can see that.
Now, I didn't recognize him from anything, but when I looked him up on IMDb, he was in a show called Paul Sands and Friends and Lovers, in the 70s. And then he was in an episode of Taxi.
Of course. Yeah. Just like everybody else.
12 episodes of St. Elsewhere, 11
Wow.
episodes of Give Me a Break. I did watch Give Me a Break, so it's possible that if I saw him in Give Me a Break, I would recognize him. He's still acting. There's a movie coming out called Lauren and Rose in 2020 that he is in.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So Wally wants his wife back. She left him. She's remarried. She's not coming back. And so Tony's trying to get him to start dating again. But Wally's just like, I'm not good with women. And he confides in Tony that Peggy, who's the name of his ex-wife, is the only woman he had been with. And that he was the only man she had been with. Now, 2 other guys are in the steam room, and one pipes up and says, "You mean Peggy Putnam?"
I know.
And then
all of a sudden, everybody in this team room knows who Peggy is.
Right. And then somebody else calls her Party Time Peg. So I'm thinking Peggy had actually been with more men than Wally.
And you wonder if it's after Wally or...
It probably
during
was the same
marriage.
time as Wally.
Yeah, maybe.
Because she left him. So Wally's not at all interested in the juice girl. He thinks she's too pushy because she asked him what kind of juice he wanted.
Too pushy.
So Tony suggests Angela.
So you got anybody else?
Yeah. And he describes Angela as real nice, and she's smart, and she's really
not bad.
not bad looking. Yeah. So I kind of was like, well, why would Tony want to hook Angela up with somebody? Because just last episode, 2 episodes ago, he was all kind of pouting and grumpy that she was going out with somebody. But I think it's that Wally is so non-threatening that he's like, he just needs a woman to make him feel kind of good about himself for a little bit. And I don't think he would ever expect that Angela's really going to be into this guy. So far, Angela's not into this guy. Oh, but wait, I'm sorry. In the steam room, one of the guys is like, if she's so great, why don't you go out with her?
Right.
And Tony's answer is because she has a weak heart.
Right. She couldn't take Tony Micelli.
Right. Couldn't take that wet and sweaty chest in the steam room. And then a quick note on Mark Costello and Michael Shepard are the 2 men in the steam room. Mark Costello is the one that's doing most of the talking in this scene. Mm-hmm. And he was on a show called Tribes in the 90s. Do you remember that show?
Nope.
Me either. But he was in 95 episodes of it, so someone might remember that show.
What was it on?
I don't know. But Mark Costello only had 4 credits, so he wouldn't be recognizable from anything. And you can barely see his face. He's the one in the background of this steam room. So now we're to the night of the date. Angela does not want to go out on this date.
Well, yeah, I mean, based on the way she's dressed.
Right.
What is happening there with the hat? What kind of hat is that? I don't know. And she's just there's no revealing it. It's a turtleneck. The only skin you see is her face and her hands.
She's got 2 jackets on.
Right.
There's like a jacket and then
that's true. Yeah. Right. What is
I
happening?
don't know. And so Mona asks if he's taking her to Norway
Right, yeah, that's
on the date. And Angela's like, no, we're going to play miniature golf. And Samantha's like, whose lame-o idea was that? She's like, that actually was my idea. Now, a couple of things here. Well, first she says, mini golf's great because you're on your feet, and if the guy tries anything, you're holding a club. But mini golf is going to come back up in this series with Angela. So remember that. So Tony is trying to get them all out of the room before Wally gets there, and they all kind of just want to check him out and see what this guy looks like, but he's like, no. So we get another Tony and Micelli catchphrase here that I think we've gotten a portion of in a previous episode, but not the whole thing.
What's that?
It's the let's hit it, let's move it, let's do it.
Oh.
Yeah, he'll say that quite a few times throughout the series. Yeah.
Oh.
It's usually like his morning thing to get them out of the house. Yeah. So they all leave. Tony tells Angela that it's going to be really good for Wally to go out with a woman like him. And she's like, oh, a woman like her. And
right.
She's like, oh, thank you. And he's like, because some people would have set him up with a dog. Now, I'm not going to laugh at the joke of somebody referring to a woman as a dog anymore. But in the 80s, I feel like calling a woman a dog on TV was pretty common.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So, again, I don't think he's expecting anything to happen here between her and Wally. He's just trying to get her to boost this guy's spirits a bit. So
yes.
Wally comes in. Angela's hoping that she can get out of this date, but it's not happening.
No, because Wally has a corsage.
Right. So he's wearing
he thinks it's prom.
all beige.
Right.
And holding a corsage.
A beige tuxedo, as I like to refer to it. I don't know what he was thinking in that.
And I love that not only is he wearing all beige, but the corsage is in a beige box when he walks in. So,
one big beige mess.
As they're leaving, Angela looks at Tony and says, you're going to pay for this. So when Wally and Angela get back to the house, we don't get to see any of the date, but we can only imagine what happened. So Wally and Angela get home.
The way Angela shakes his hand.
Yes, immediately he tries to stick out her
said,
hand.
well, I had a good night. And
thank you. Bye. And we get that bench area in the front that they're using again. And Wally's like, no, wait. When can I see you again? Angela says the word wonderful. He's like, oh, that's our word. He's really into her.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately. Her mini golf game must have been pretty strong because
he couldn't see what was under all the layers of clothing.
He's curious now. So she comes into the house after she gets away from him. And Tony's like, oh, how'd it go? Not great.
Right.
I think Samantha asked, how was it? Not wonderful. And Mona asked her, it was awful. And then Jonathan just says, hi, Mommy. And she's like, it was the worst date ever. So, yeah, she's not happy. It's cute that Samantha's wearing the nightgown again.
Yes, I noticed that.
She's
got the nightgown again.
Yep.
That thing is carrying through.
Yeah, that's probably the piece of wardrobe we've seen more than any other. Angela basically says, this guy's pathetic. We went on one date, and now he's in love with me, and I don't ever want to see him again. And Tony's asking her to please give him another chance because he lost his confidence, and he needs to get back out there. And, and Mona's like, what will one more bad date do in your life? Poor Angela.
I know, but it is funny because when she says that guy thinks he's in love with me, Mona's like, well, that is desperate.
I know.
It's
so
like,
mean.
God, even a loser can say, or what the show's portraying as a loser can say that even if he's in love with her, oh no, it's desperate because Angela's a loser, according to Mona. Not nice.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Now, the next morning, Wally comes by after Angela has left for work and all the kids are gone.
And he's still in his tan tuxedo.
Well, yeah, I think it's a different tan. He must have multiple. I'm picturing his closet right now. And it's
all
just,
tan things.
All just tan tuxedos lined up in a row.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
So he asked if Angela said anything about him. He wants another date. He wants to kiss Angela. He thought that the date was magic. So Tony's like,
Date was magic.
because he's thinking, now I gotta tell this guy that she doesn't like him. So he asks Tony, tell me everything about her. And Tony's like, well, she's 5'7", she's a Gemini, and she never wants to see you again.
Right.
And this guy's even picking up the toast off the table.
And matching her bite and his bite.
He takes...
It's very creepy.
And this actor has like a shtick going on here, kind of, too. That's sort of a Gene Wilder-esque delivery.
That's why he reminds me of Gene Wilder so much. And not only I feel like he was trying to, like, channel that.
Yeah.
You know, like there were some actors who tried to be like other
right
actors or try to go... I feel like he was trying to channel a whole Gene Wilder thing.
Or he was also known for this, whatever this is. Because it seems like... I don't know. It just seems very characteristic of like a character that he's doing. So it's interesting. Also interesting. So I always
sweater.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we'll get to that. But I always thought Judith Light was really tall. Like.
So did I.
Especially on this show because she towers over Mona and Samantha. I mean, Samantha's still a kid, but she always towers over Samantha. But Mona and Samantha must only be like 5'1". And I'm guessing Tony Danza is maybe 5'8", 5'9". So she just looks so tall because I think so much of her body is legs.
She has long legs.
Yeah, and she's like so thin.
Yeah, long legs and a shorter torso.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think I just always pictured her being like 5'10" or something. So yeah, so let's talk about Tony's sweater here for a moment. Mm-hmm. Now, it's a beautiful color. I really like the color.
It's
But it looks to me like something Rose on the Golden Girls would wear. It has like a boat neck and like this weave.
Yeah, there's a weird weave to it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a Tony sweater.
No.
And I don't want to say it's feminine looking because that's probably not appropriate.
No.
And the color looks great. Like it's not the color, but it's kind of the cut of the sweater. Looks like something an older woman would wear.
There you go. You said it the nicest way. Because what I want to say, you didn't want me to say.
No. It's like maybe the sweater was hanging next to one of Catherine's sweaters, and they put the wrong sweater on him, and then they used to do the show like a play. They just plowed through it. So they were like, oh, well, it's too late. He's wearing the sweater. So Tony's trying to get Wally's mind off of Angela, and he's like, I have to go drop a bunch of Angela's dry cleaning off. Want to come with me? That sounds like fun. And Wally's like, no, I couldn't be in the same car with all of her clothes.
Yeah. That's another red flag.
Now that he knows that she doesn't want anything to do with them. So Mona comes in, and she kind of volunteers to like babysit Wally. Now, what's interesting is that when Mona comes in, she seems pretty surprised this is Wally, because she hasn't seen him up until this point. So she doesn't think that he's quite as, dweeb-like as she was expecting.
Right.
So she stays with him, they start talking, and she's trying to help him out, like, you're a diamond in the rough. You just need to practice, like, flirting. You need to practice getting out there with women. So she's trying to, like, show him how to like look at someone and then look away and then look back. She's doing a fantastic job of this. Mm-hmm. He not so much.
No, he's very awkward.
But she's like ready to take this on as a project. So later that day, Angela comes home from work. And at some point during the day, Angela had a bit of a change of heart about Wally. She says that, all day long, I'm around these confident men.
It's just cheese balls.
Yes. And it made me think about Wally because he's so different. And she's like, yes, a wrist corsage is odd for a grown woman on a first date. But she said it was cute. And she was the only one at the the mini golf place with one. And when he stepped in the water hazard, most men would have quit. But he didn't. He hung up his socks on the windmill and he played through.
Yep. She's saying it wasn't that bad, maybe.
Yeah. She's decided that he has kind of a nerdy charm and she's maybe into this. So she's now willing to give him another chance. So Tony is excited because Wally is super into her. And at least Tony thinks he's still super into her at this point. So Tony's like, okay, that's great. but this time, can you do me a favor? Can you be a little more fun? So I guess he's also like wanting her not to wear all of the clothes in her closet on this next date.
Yeah, maybe dress up a little bit. Not dress up, but like not wear 2 jackets.
Not wear 2 jackets and a hat, and then maybe not go to mini golf. But I don't remember. Did Wally express the fact that Angela wasn't fun?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so this is just Tony saying this. Okay.
Yeah, because Tony saw her in her 2 jackets and her hat.
Right, and it's needed for what's going to happen next. So,
Wally
Angela's,
rolls up.
Wally comes in. He's now wearing
new threads.
Yeah, he's no longer beige. He's nice shades of blue and gray.
Mm-hmm.
And Angela's surprised, like, oh, you look so nice. Like, what are you doing? And she's letting him know that, she's free this weekend or even tonight if he would like to go out again. And he's like, oh, thanks, but I actually have plans tonight, so tomorrow night would work better for me. And both Tony and Angela seem a little surprised that Wally has plans until the back door opens and in comes Mona, dressed to go out. So Tony's surprised that Wally's going out with Mona. Angela's annoyed that Wally's going out with Mona. And she's like, I didn't even know that you knew him. And she says, well, Tony introduced us. So Angela gives Tony a look. And he's like, listen, all I said was, Mona here's Wally, Wally here's Mona.
Right, exactly. He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, he's like, this isn't my fault. So he takes Wally out into the living room to try to figure out what's going on. And I love this line. Wally's like, I thought you wanted me to date lots of women.
Yeah.
And Tony says, not
in the same house. I know, that's a great line. I wrote that one. That was in my notes.
Oh, very good. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a very good line. So now back in the kitchen.
The next page.
Oh, yeah. All right. Here, we'll hold on so you can turn the page.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Alrighty.
So in the kitchen, Angela wants to know why Mona stole her date. And she's like, I didn't steal your date. You didn't want to have anything to do with him. You never wanted to see him again. So I figured I was doing you a favor by taking him off your hands. And Angela's just kind of like, whatever. She's annoyed. And Mona's like, well, don't wait up. I'll see you later.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah.
Me and Wally are going out.
Yeah. And this is not going to be the worst night of my life. So, they go, Wally and Mona leave on their date, and Wally's all excited.
Well, hang on.
What?
Hang on.
Okay.
She says, come on, Wally, let's leave this pop stand.
Is it blow this pop stand?
Is it blow? Hold on. It's, I think you're right.
Are you going to tell me what a pop stand is?
Yeah, do you know? Do you
I
already
don't.
know this?
I do not.
Oh, okay. Well, this is exciting.
Okay.
You know me.
Yeah.
I am a wealth of knowledge. So basically she walks out the door. She walks out of the kitchen.
Right.
And then, let's blow this pop stand. So that's exactly what she says.
I've heard that before, but I actually don't
know
what
yeah.
it means.
I think we've heard it all our lives.
Yeah.
Blow this pop stand. To exit or remove oneself from a less exciting location or environment.
Oh.
Example, I'm bored out of my mind. Let's blow this pop stand.
Is that still used these days as much, you think?
I've actually heard it as popsicle stand, but
oh, okay.
Like the meaning is popsicle stand.
In my mind,
pop stand is popsicle stand.
I'm picturing the banana stand from Arrested Development, and I don't know why.
There's always money in the banana banana stand. But that's pretty much it. To exit or remove oneself from a less than exciting location or environment.
Well,
let's blow this pop stand.
That less than exciting location and environment was wherever Angela was.
Yeah, I think that's what that meant.
Yeah. So Mona and Wally leave, and Angela's like, I cannot believe this. That poor man is being taken advantage of by my mother. He's brokenhearted over his ex-wife. He's brokenhearted over me, and now she's just going to take advantage of him. And Tony's like, sure, whatever.
And he looks super goofy while exiting.
Yes,
because he's weird, like hunched over thing, giving Angela a look like I'm going out with your mom.
It's all part of his character.
Weird.
Yeah.
I know.
Whatever bit he's doing.
Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
It is. It's totally Gene Wilder look.
So Jonathan comes out from upstairs.
Yeah, this is awesome.
He's like, was that Grandma leaving with Wally? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, you're right, Sam. Wally dumped Mom for Grandma.
I know. It's so ridiculous. But it is kind of like a kid thing to do.
Yes.
It's funny.
I think between that and Not in the Same House, those are the two best lines, I think, of the whole episode. So Angela decides she's going out with Wally again tomorrow night. And she's going to take Tony's advice and be more fun. She's going to be so much fun that he won't see straight for a week.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's got to mean sex,
like,
right?
Oh, I guess.
I mean, the look on her face and the fever in her eyes seems like that's what she's talking about. Some sort of sex.
Yeah, that you won't see straight sex.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't...
Whatever that is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what else you could do to somebody to make them not see straight.
I punch him in the eye.
So
during sex.
Now Tony may regret that he suggested Wally, just because she's like on a mission here. So Sam asks Tony if he's ever dated two women. And he says once the Camisa sisters.
Yeah.
Which is not true, because I think it's been mentioned already. And if not, it will be mentioned that Tony dated the Benedetti twins.
Yeah, I think we've already... I feel like it was an episode.
We've already heard about the Benedetti twins.
Yeah, I think so too.
But as a listener, Chrissy mentioned, the Camisa sisters, Camisa is Tony Danza's mother's maiden name. So that's where that's coming from. And Samantha says, well, did they find out and then they broke off the date? And he says, no, the Camisa brothers found out and they broke my nose.
That's right.
Yeah. Good for the Camisa brothers. I mean, I don't really want to advocate violence in any position, but dating two sisters is just kind of a crappy thing to do.
No, not good. But I also think that, and I think I pointed out when we were watching the episode, that if Tony did date other sets of twins, I don't think he would reveal that to Samantha.
That is a good point.
I dated a lot of twins.
Right.
Oh, Dad, what's wrong with you?
Sometimes at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so Samantha's like, I better go upstairs. I told Jonathan I'd play hide and seek. He's been hiding since 7:30. That's great.
Yeah, it's such a little kid thing.
Sometimes when the kids were younger and I would play hide and seek with them and I would hide, and when I was the seeker, I would just kind of sit and play on my phone for a few minutes before I started looking for them.
Terrible.
Yeah, whatever. Now, Angela comes down the stairs in an iconic Angela dress. Like, I feel like if you showed people pictures of this dress, they remember this one, mostly because it will be used in the open. Or it's actually maybe already in the open in season 2, but it comes from this episode. And Samantha's going upstairs as Angela's coming down, and she's like, wow, I hope I grow into that.
I know.
Samantha will never grow into that because she's only going to be 5'1". Right. They would have to get that hemmed a bit at the bottom. So Angela thinks it's adorable and funny that Samantha wants her dress. Tony, not so much. But it's not like it's... I mean, the leg slit's a little high, but the rest of the dress is pretty modest. So Tony also makes note of the dress, and she plays it off like, oh, it's nothing. It's just something I had. She's sitting down and putting on makeup and showing quite a bit of leg. Judith Light is all leg. So Mona comes in. Miles of legs.
Miles of legs.
Yeah. Legs for days. Is that what it says?
Yeah,
that's
what
it's called?
Yep.
So Mona comes in the back door and says, oh, you look nice. And then comments that her dress is ripped because of the slit going up the side.
Right.
And then Angela makes a comment about Mona's tight sweater. So here's really where I really start to dislike this episode. And I think just because it's kind of a tired storyline to have two women fighting over this guy.
Yes.
And it's funny because it's Mona and Angela picking at each other, but I also think the placement of this episode is odd because it comes right after The Heiress, where they were also fighting.
They were at odds.
At odds, yeah, on a much deeper level and obviously a different situation. But yeah, so I think just the annoyance of seeing women pitted against each other because they're going after the same guy is what annoys me most about this episode.
Right, and they're going after a poor man's Gene Wilder. In a way, I guess.
I know. So Angela makes a comment about Mona's tight sweater. And she says she's there to return Wally's jacket because she borrowed it late last night.
Right, of course.
So I feel like Mona is trying to give the impression, if not just letting them know, that she did have sex with Wally the night before.
Or was around him really late at night.
Yes. But I mean...
But probably...
Yeah, I mean, knowing Mona...
intercourse with Wally.
Knowing Mona the way we know Mona, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if she had sex with him. No judgment. She can have sex with whoever she wants. But I feel like she's giving that indication.
Yeah. She went on one of the rides at Wally World.
That's funny. So, okay, but I also feel like Angela's still planning on having sex with Wally at this point.
Which makes this episode really takes a turn.
Yeah, it's like, at any point, does Angela want to look down or look up and know where he was the night before?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. So this is awkward now. Okay, but, so they're kind of fighting. Tony's like, do you want to leave because you're getting fur on the carpet? Oh, because Angela's telling Mona, so now Mona's not playing fair because Angela stayed out of the way the night before. But now Mona's trying to make a drink for Wally when he gets there. Wally notices Angela's dress, notices Mona's sweater.
Right, but he's like, that's a nice dress. Yeah. That's a nice sweater.
Yeah. So Angela's like, well, why don't you go make an old fashioned because that's what you do well.
Right.
And then Mona comes back with, well, you're better with the ice and bitters.
Right. Zing, zing.
Yeah. So Tony's like, gets them into the kitchen to go make these drinks so that they can get out of the way here. Now, Wally is surprised that these two women are fighting over him because he's right. Like, why are they fighting over him?
For Wally.
Right. And Tony is surprised that these two women are fighting over him. So in the kitchen, Angela and Mona are still arguing because Angela thinks that she's best for Wally because she knows the pain of divorce and, she would be able to help him through it. And Mona's like, no, I'm best for Wally because I'll just get him to forget about the divorce and he just needs to really have fun right now. So Tony says that they should let Wally
Both are
decide.
valid points, by the way.
Yeah. Tony says that they should let Wally decide. So Angela heads back out in the living room, and on the way out, there we get the shot where she rips the slit in her dress higher to show off more leg.
Right, which is in the open.
Right.
Season 2 or wherever.
Both Angela and Mona go back out into the living room. Wally comes into the kitchen and says that they want they want him to choose between the two of them. So Wally now has his confidence back without even having to go out with any more of the women in this house.
Yeah.
He's feeling pretty good about himself. He's all puffed up. And he's like, well, maybe if these two women are fighting over me, I shouldn't choose either of them. I should get out there and see what else I can do.
Yeah, why not?
See how much more of this town I can tear up.
Two women in this household are after him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good number. Those are good numbers.
Yeah,
there.
there's probably 10 other houses on this block. He hasn't even tried any of those yet.
Women are in these houses.
So he leaves, and he tells Tony to basically let them know that he's not going to choose either of them. So now Tony's had to break up with Wally for Angela, and now he's got to break up with Angela and Mona for Wally. Wally's not a good friend. But we'll never see Wally again.
No. Well.
Oh, actually, that's not true.
We do.
We do see him again.
But not as Wally.
Not as Wally, yes, and later on. So we'll see the actor again, but friend and foe is gone. Okay, so then Mona and Angela come into the kitchen, and Tony tells them that Wally left. And he cushions the blow by basically saying, like, he couldn't choose between the two of you, so he did the only decent thing, and he just left. So, but Angela's like, no, we both got dumped, but thanks. So in the tag, they're sitting on the couch. They're drinking 3 of the 4 old fashions that they made now that Wally's gone. And Angela asked Tony who he would have chosen. I think it was Angela. One of them asked Tony. And Tony's like, I am not answering that question. So Angela says that she thinks he would have chosen Mona because she's so fun and, he would have had a great time with her. And Mona's like, no, I think he would have chosen you because you're so empathetic and you would have been a really good person for, to listen to him and stuff. So they kiss and make up and everybody's all happy.
Yeah. And suddenly they're nice to each other.
Right. But then Mona's like, I'm really sorry I stole your boyfriend. And Angela's like, you didn't steal him because I could get him back if I wanted to. And then they start fighting again. Mm-hmm. So Tony says, hang on, I'll go get the mud. You guys go get on your bikinis and we'll settle this like we should.
Right, which suddenly the episode's weird again. Why are you having a mother and a daughter fight in the mud pool?
So here's the mud wrestling coming back that Tony mentioned and Samantha's growing up about Jonathan. And then we'll see that also plays throughout the series. And that is the end of this episode.
What are you laughing at?
Just that this episode's over.
Oh, okay. I missed something in it, and I am kind of mad.
What happened? What did you miss?
Well, there's a point where Mona says, "In a pig's eye."
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. It's right here.
Is it? This is it. It's in this
because
scene.
it's when Angela says,
Well, then I didn't miss it.
If I wanted him back, I could get him, and she says, "In a pig's eye."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you want to learn about?
What is a pig?
What? I'm not just bringing that up for no reason.
I know you're not. What is a pig's eye?
So, in the scene, she says, "Oh, mother, if I want him, I can get him back," which we talked about. And then she chuckles. Right. Mona chuckles, says, "In a pig's eye."
Yeah. So
I was like, well, what's that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you probably know.
I don't. I honestly do not know.
Okay. It's an exclamation of emphatic denial, dissent, or disbelief that something will happen to be true.
Oh.
So, like an example.
It really has nothing to do with pigs and nothing to do with eyes.
No, it doesn't. Like, that's why I was looking it up. Because example is, I'm pretty sure we can restore this old junker in a week. And the person responds, in a pig's eye, it will take months, if not longer.
But, like, what's the origin of pig's eye?
And another example is, step down from the board of directors. In a pig's eye, I will.
You just keep saying more words.
I know. Well, they're examples. but there's one part here, actually, where it says, the origin could be like, it rhymes with, in a pig's eye rhymes with when pigs fly. Which, of course, would never happen because pigs they can't fly.
Maybe pigs have very little eyes.
See, and that's the other thing I was thinking, too, is maybe, like, from the beginning, I was thinking maybe pigs just have poor vision. In a pig's eye, like, they think they see something.
Oh, that's true. Maybe they think they know what's going on, but they don't.
Like, what's that guy doing over there? And is that really anybody over there? I don't know. Like, pigs have bad vision.
Well, I just want to thank you for your service.
Well, but don't you think when pigs fly, like, I feel like it could?
Yeah, no. That I would imagine that has to be related.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I've just taken this thing off the rails.
This was my favorite part of the episode.
In a pig's eye it was. All right,
so let's do rating first.
Okay.
Who did it last? Wait a minute.
We'll never know. I'll never remember that. Never gonna remember.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
I gave this a 6.
Okay.
I think that's my lowest rating so far.
Mm-hmm. It is. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Because I always feel like my ratings are too low.
I just, I thought the placement of the episode was odd. I thought the Mona and Angela just fighting over a guy was kind of blah.
I know you struggled getting through this episode when you watched it and you did the notes.
I know.
You were struggling. But I think you wanted to skip it for a while.
I know, but it's like we got to do every single one.
I know.
But some of them are going to be stinkers, and that's okay because every show has stinkers. And,
right.
And
most of them have been good. And
I mean, and honestly, I read ahead of this season, and I am super excited about all but like one other episode.
Nice.
So this is a really good season. And especially the two-parter that we're going to do next, I'm very excited about.
Oh, good.
So, whatever. It was just kind of blah. I didn't love the guy. I didn't love the storyline. I didn't like the fighting between Mona and Angela. There weren't even really any cute parts between Tony and Angela, so whatever. Okay, your turn.
I not much better. 6.5.
Okay.
6.5. 6.5 AO. Always.
Is that half just because Angela has long legs?
Possibly, yes.
And she looked
possibly, and right, yes. And Mona's tight sweat.
I was gonna say that, but then I didn't want to make you seem creepy.
I'm just saying that.
Who's the boss around here? Me? Or my mother? Or maybe it's you!
I think Tony was the boss because I think he held it all together. Like he brought them together and he kind of actually made the mess, but he still was kind of playing referee through the whole thing.
Yeah, he definitely was referee.
And he just at the end, kind of brought the two of them back down off the ledge. I mean, had no choice but to because Wally left.
Right. Yeah.
But
he had to do all the breaking up.
Right. He did all the connecting, the breaking up.
Yeah.
And then when some things happened that he had no control of, like Mona all of a sudden's dating Wally, like it became a mess. He still tried to keep it together. So I'll say Tony.
Okay. I should go with Tony, but I'm so annoyed with this episode that I kind of feel like it doesn't have a boss. Oh. But then I thought I'm going to go with Samantha.
Okay.
Because Samantha's the one who calls out that Wally dumped Mom for Grandma. Mm-hmm. Samantha's the one that calls Tony out asking him if he's ever dated two women. And then Samantha let the little kid try to play hide and seek by himself for a while. So she was really doing some solid work in this episode.
Yeah.
So
and also by not being in the episode very much.
So, I'm going with Samantha on this one.
That's good.
You can reach us at Who's the Boss Podcast on Instagram or Who's the Boss Pod 1 on Twitter or the Who's the Boss Podcast page on Facebook. Or you can send us a direct message, or you can make a voicemail at anchor.fm/WTBB podcast. And we've noticed that Anchor cuts you off at 1 minute. That's just because they think that that's an easiest way to insert a voice message into a podcast. But if you need to go longer than that, just make an additional one and then we'll
cut them all together.
Yeah, mash them together. And thanks again to Fran in Switzerland for her voice message.
Yeah.
Now, next time, we're going to cover Custody Part 1 and 2. Do you know what this one's about?
I do. I remember this. We watched it recently before we did the podcast.
Yeah, I really like this one. I even, it started playing a bit after I was done watching this episode, and I kind of got sucked in. And I was like, I can't watch it yet because I need to focus still.
You get confused.
Yeah, so I'm excited to watch this one. All right, we got a song?
Yes, we do. This is Chris Kelly, which I don't know who that is. We don't really know who a lot of these people are. And he's performing the Who's the Boss theme song. And it was actually performed at Paul Colby's The Bitter End in New York City, which it claims to be the oldest rock and roll bar.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe and tell all your friends and give you a big pat on the back.
There's a time for love and a time for living. Take a chance and face the wind. Open road and a road that's in. A brand new life around the bend. There were times lost a dream for true. Found the trail, and at the end was you. There's a path you take and a path